135th Street. Grocery store number 2, 646 Lenox Avenue. That's 142nd Street. Grocery store number 3, 552 Lenox Avenue. That's 138th Street. Universal Restaurant number 1, 114 West 138th Street. Universal Restaurant number 2, 75 West 135th Street. Universal Printing House, 2305 7th Avenue. That's at 135th Street. Universal Mart Industry, 62 West 142nd Street. The Black Dolls Factory, 36 and 38 West 135th Street. The Phyllis Whitley Hotel and Booker T. Washington University. That's on 3, 5, 7, 9, 11, and 13 West 136th Street. The UNIA head office, as well as the Black Star Line head office, 56 West 135th Street. Can I ask a dumb question? Well, let me say a statement, then I ask a dumb question. The statement is, these are all buildings owned by the UNIA during Garvey's time. Here's the dumb question. Where is Garvey getting all this money from? None of these are mortgaged. These were all purchased outright. Where is Garvey getting all this money from?
The people.
Certainly not from white folk. That's for sure. It's only one other place he could be getting it from.
The people.
From you, black woman. You, black man. That's where he got it from. Garvey instituted the Negro Factories Corporation. He capitalized at $1 million. Let's go read. The first Liberty Hall, first building Garvey ever purchased, 114 West 138th Street. If you notice, that's also the address of one of the Universal restaurants. What happened is, on the first floor was the restaurant. On the second floor, it had an auditorium that could hold 6,000 people. It was filled every Sunday of the month. 6,000 people auditorium, and it's filled every Sunday of the month. This is the Phyllis Whitley Hotel in Booker T. Washington University. Okay, now let's talk numbers. The Negro Factories Corporation was capitalized at $1 million. You know what that means? That means he's got to raise $1 million before he puts everything into traction. But that's not today. That's in 1919. That's 96 years ago. Oh gee, what does that mean? Well, if you use a 5% adjustment, that translates to, are you ready for this? $108,186,410 in today's money. That's the type of money Garvey had. Where does Garvey get this money from? Garvey starts a Negroes Factories Corporation. What had happened was, after Garvey creates or establishes the first UNIA in Harlem, what he does is he goes around speaking. As he speaks, he asks for contributions. He goes all over the country. He raises so much money, he's able to pay himself. So when he said, no, instead of just like Mackendall, he says to himself, I'm not just going to be in it for me, I'm in it for the race. So he says, no. Why don't I incorporate it, get people to invest in the Factories Corporation, build up this mass, and hire and employ people. They also had a tailor shop, dressmaking shop, and a millinery store. Right here. This is the Titanic. The Titanic was the flagship of the White Star Line. It sinks on April 15, 1912. Garvey's back in Jamaica. As he reads it, he says, wow. So if it's a ship for white people, It's called White Star Line. What do you think Garvey's going to call his ship?
Black Star Line. Yeah, yeah.
This is Garvey's ship. So what? He buys the ship June 27, 1919. It was called the Yarmouth. He's going to rechristen it to the Frederick Douglass, SS Frederick Douglass. How much does he spend? He puts down, all in cash, 165,000 U.S. currency reserve dollars. Cash, no mortgage. Who is going to mortgage? Who's going to give Garvey a loan? Who's going to give him a loan? He's got to bring in cash. What's $165,000 in 1919 worth today? It's worth $17,850,758. That's what Garvey had. But that's not enough. He buys a second ship, the Shady Side and the Kanawha, altogether for another $200,000. Cash! No mortgage, no bluff, no IOU. What's $200,000 worth in 1919? It's what? Over $21.6 million. That's cash. How does Garvey do this? Right here. Black Star Line stock certificate. He sells each one of them for $5. Does anyone know what $5 in 1919 is worth today?
Don't tell them,
Duncan will tell you. The same difficulty those black people had in 1919, you have the same difficulty. But guess what? They did it. They didn't even have social media. They didn't even have internet.
Get them. No excuses.
At first, he capitalizes the Black Star Line at $500,000. He raises that money in 3 months. He says, 3 months? Let's make it 10 million. What is 10 million in 1919 worth today? $1 billion! If you don't get it, let me say it in black and white. This is the reason why they have to get rid of Garvey. This is an independent, economic, self-reliant base. He's not shuffling, he's not jiving, he's not dancing, he's not begging. This is, as of today, this is the Black Star Line building in Limon, Costa Rica. Look how big it is. All that's all been paid for. This is the second vessel, the Shady Side. They use it for their, for the executives. The executives need to take summer outings. They work hard, right? I mean, they're uplifting the race. I mean, Duncan owns Jamaica Breeze. He goes on vacation because he works hard. The third vessel, the Kanawha, this was owned by Henry H. Rogers, who at one time was the third most richest person on the planet. On the planet. That was his personal ship. That's the one Garvey buys. This is it. This is the Kanawha. Okay. Once Duze Muhammad Ali teaches Garvey about Nubia, right here is the Sphinx. This is Khafre. Garvey puts it on his newspaper. Garvey didn't even know that. It's after Garvey learns that Garvey makes the most famous statement, the world is run on bluff. Until then he said, Garvey didn't even know Nubia. It's Ali who teaches him that. That's why he puts Khafre on his newspaper. About his newspaper. There was the Defender in Chicago, the Whip in Chicago, the Messenger in New York, the Crusade in New York, the Courier in Pittsburgh, the Guardian in Boston, the Crisis by the NAACP, the Emancipator in Newark, and the Amsterdam News in New York. These were the top black newspapers at the time that Garvey was around. What's the problem? You can't tell they're black. What does Garvey says? What's he going to call his newspaper? He says, cut the bluff, we're black. We're the Negro world. We represent all black people. That's why he calls it Negro world. The Defender is the largest weekly circulation in the country. It's got a circulation of 160,000. Garvey's newspaper! Let me put it to you this way. It's like the Million Man March. There was 1 million people there, but no white media reported it. So it probably didn't exist. Same thing. They tried the same bluff with Garvey. Garvey's newspaper is 500,000 circulation per week. He's the biggest, he's the best, he's the brightest. And here's the biggest joke of all. All those other newspapers, they're in business to make money. That's why you go into business. That's why they create a newspaper. Garvey creates his newspaper to promote the goals and ideals of the UNIA, to uplift the race. Garvey's not even interested in money because he's got a bigger goal. All the others, they have to have nonsense advertisement. Skin bleachers, and skin bleachers. You'll never see that in the UNIA newspaper. Because Garvey's got his own money. I don't need your money. I don't need to cower down. Listen to this. This is nothing short of phenomenal. This is an advertisement in Garvey's newspaper. I'll read it to you because it's very small print. Are you ready for this? Are you ready?
Yes.
Fellow members of the Negro race, why not support your own industries and help us to find employment for your race? Why not support your own industries and help us to find employment for your race? Every penny or every dollar you spend with the Universal Negro Improvement Association helps to strengthen the financial standing of the race. The more you patronize your own enterprise, the more will we be able to employ more members of our race. Already we employ about 5,000 Negroes all over America and about 4,000 abroad. In New York alone, we employ over 200. If you expect the race to grow financially, if you expect the race to become economically independent, if you expect the race to be respected generally, if you expect us to run more factories and operate more enterprises, if you expect us to employ more Negroes, then you must support the enterprises we have already started.
That's right.
The following enterprises are now operated by the Universal Negro Improvement Association through the African Communities League and the Negroes Factories Corporation. Universal Steam Laundry, 62 West 142nd Street. Wet and finished laundry work done by competent hands. Strength or send or take all your clothes to this laundry and help the race to develop strength in the laundry industry. Call Harlem 2877 for orders. Universal Tailoring and Dressmaking Department, 62 West 142nd Street. Ladies and gents suits and dresses made to order. Also pressing and dry cleaning. Every Negro should have his or her suit tailored by the Universal Negro Improvement Association. By doing this, you will help the race to develop strength in the tailoring industry.